Hello, hello, hello. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA, I make videos for NFL. All of these videos get posted on this subreddit. It is called DF Sports. With one S, you can find my posts here. My username is Shook underscore dash. Really great place to be. People talk strategy here. People post notes from the video. You can ask me questions. I'll always respond to you. And then, other people make posts on the Reddit with all this other cool content. Really great place to be. I already posted my NFL video there. You can check that out as well. And then if Discord is something you are interested in, I will have a link to that below where we just absolutely keep crushing. Just keep on crushing. So, yeah, check that out. So, we'll take a look at my lineup from tonight. So, another really good night for me, back to back, really good nights. Probably about $700, $800 in profit the past two nights. So, I went with T.J. McConnell, Andrew Nemhard, Benedict Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson, Demontez Sabonis, Jamal Murray, Zach Levine, and Alperen Sengun. So, the core that I had for today, so it was Andrew Nemhart. He did well. Unfortunately, he shot the ball like shit. It was Isaiah Jackson. He absolutely smashed. It was Domantas Sabonis. He was an absolute smash, an absolute must. And Jamal Murray, absolute smash at 6.7K. Somehow over half the field faded Jamal Murray tonight. And then I rounded out my lineup with TJ McConnell, who absolutely smashed. Benedict Mathurin, who absolutely smashed. Zach Levine, who shot like 2 of 30, I want to say. 5 of 19. And then Alperen Sengun, who doesn't play the fourth quarter. Cool. Sabonis lose minutes because the blowout. Cool. As you can see, people didn't have Sengun or Sabonis above me. So if they get that fourth quarter run, I probably shoot up to the top three. So no one runs worse. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. No one runs worse. But really good night. Happy to have two really good nights back to back. Hope you guys had a good night tonight. I'm gonna take a sip of OJ, and we'll get into tomorrow's slate. Excuse me. I hope you guys didn't hear that. Alright, so I have not looked at this slate yet. Let me move my mic closer. I have not looked at this slate yet. So this would be a first look to you'll see like what I'm looking at. Like I don't know any news. I haven't looked at the pricing. I haven't done anything, but I'm already seeing some glaring issues with the pricing on Boston. So we have Jaylen Brown out. We have Malcolm Brogdon, I guess, questionable for tomorrow. We'll go over it both ways. So Jason Tatum going up against Charlotte, I think makes for an amazing play at 10.6K. Had a 4-game last game. Not too worried about that. You have to have short-term memory in DFS here. Gets a pace-up spot against Charlotte. I think he looks like one of the best spin-ups on the slate. I don't even know who's on the slate. Okay, maybe not the best. Like you have Luka going up against Portland. You have Embiid going up against Utah. But yeah, Tatum looks really good going up against Charlotte with no Jaylen Brown. Brogdon, if he plays, he's just there for me. I think with the minutes he's playing, I think at 6K he's appropriately priced. I think Marcus Smart's a pretty good play at 5.9K. Going to play huge minutes with no Jaylen Brown. Gets a huge boost. Going to do a lot more ball handling as well, even though, Jaylen Brown, we know what Jaylen Brown does. But anyway, it's a lot of minutes that have to get subsided somewhere. And Marcus Smart's going to have to play a ton. Gets a usage bump as well. Probably going to shoot the ball a lot more too. So I do like Smart at 5.9K as well. Derek White's playable. Would prefer him more if Malcolm Brogdon's out, but he's probably going to play close to 30 minutes. I have no issue if you want to go to a guy like Derek White. We do have Al Horford back. I believe he was out last game, I want to say. Yeah, he was. So we'll have to see what they do with the starting lineup, if they're going to keep Robert Williams in the starting lineup. I think both the bigs are fine. Charlotte has been terrible against bigs. If you want to go that route, I wouldn't hate you for it. And then if Brogdon is out, I'd assume Peyton Pritchard gets that boost, and I think he'd be someone that I would definitely like for GPPs. So keep an eye on that Brogdon news. Would definitely like that. Assuming he gets that role, that Brogdon role, or they could just run the starters into the ground. Who knows? Because Peyton Pritchard is just god awful on defense, and we've seen him lose minutes because of it. I remember one game when Smart was out. I think it was Peyton Pritchard started, and he only played like 12 minutes because he just got ran off the court because he was terrible on defense. So I don't know if they'll necessarily need the scoring up against Charlotte, so we'll see. But I think he'll get a minutes bump regardless from it. I think he's definitely someone that I'm very, very interested in for GPPs. All right, Charlotte. So it's a tough spot here. I mean, Lamelo's always in play for GPPs, and 9.7K always has a ceiling. It feels like he's a lock for 50 fantasy points. So gonna play huge minutes as well. With no Jaylen Brown, I think this game has a better chance of staying close. So I think Lamelo's fine. Terry Rozier's been much, much better of late. Kind of sucks he lost that shooting forward eligibility, but just there for me, like a fine play. If I land on him as a last man in, I'm okay with it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to play him. The bigs, I'm not going to get to. We still have Gordon Hayward, I believe, doubtful, so Jalen McDaniels is going to continue to start. I think he's appropriately priced, in my opinion. And then Cody Martin, I'll mention he's had a solid role off the bench 22, 22, and 26 minutes last 3 games. I actually think he's a perfectly fine value. I do. So I think, yeah, Cody Martin, I think, is a fine value at that price tag. So this game, definitely appealing if you think it stays close. Like, phenomenal matchup. With Tyrese Halliburton out, but this game just has blowout risk all over it. So, um, I mean, if you think the game stays close, I think John Morant could just absolutely nuke here. So I think it's an interesting GPP play. I don't think anyone's going to be on John Morant tomorrow. I think this is a spot where Jaren Jackson Jr. could absolutely go ballistic too, especially if Miles Turner out. So just a GPP only play. Adams, same thing. So like I like these guys if they can keep it close, but I'm not really sure if they do. Like if Brooks is in or out, I don't really care. Um, so maybe more minutes for guys like Zaire, um, Santi, meh, meh. Let's move on to Indiana. So Tyrese Halliburton obviously going to continue to be out. Miles Turner, I don't expect to play. I feel like he's about to get traded. So we're going to assume everyone that was out today is out again. And if that's the case, if you think the game stays close, like Buddy Hield looks really good at 6.3K, he would be entirely too cheap. Matherin is still too cheap. He would look very good. Andrew Nemhard had a bad game tonight, but I'm going to go right back. He would be the best play on the slate, assuming he starts at the point again. Would still like TJ McConnell quite a bit. He played 24 minutes tonight. Really good point per minute guy. Could stuff the stat sheet. He would be a really good value play. Assuming Jalen Smith starts again. I don't know. Jalen Smith didn't start, but he would be playable off the bench. And then, where is Isaiah Jackson? I don't understand why Isaiah Jackson's min price. Again, he would be the best, like him, Nemhard, the best plays in the slate, assuming that's the case again. And then like O'Shea Brissett, playable off the bench as well. Who'd they start tonight? Did they start Brissett? Give me one sec. Or did they get smaller with guards? That's something I did not remember from earlier. Alright, let's see. Who'd they start? Okay. Okay. Okay, they went smaller with Duarte. Okay. I mean, O'Shea Brissett still played a ton. Another guy that I'll have interest in, they're just going to be so shorthand. Like, they still have like 12 active guys, but I think they're going to play their guys the same way they did tonight. Like, Duarte started and played 26 minutes in play. Like, Brissett in play. Jalen Smith in play. Like, Isaiah Jackson looks phenomenal if they start him again. Nemhard, phenomenal. Matherin, really good. TJ McConnell, really good. So, assuming everyone's out tonight that was out, that is out tomorrow, they look great. So, yeah. Not the best spot here for Atlanta. So not much here. Like, I don't like the spot. Toronto, they play slow. They play good defense. So Trey, Murray, more GPP only plays. Collins had a really bad game tonight. Now you have another. Now you have a tough spot for him. Not really interested in. Okongwu absolutely exploded tonight. Now you have a tough spot. I think he's fine. I definitely do prefer him to Collins, but not going to go out of my way to play him. And I think that's it for Atlanta. So let's move on to Toronto. So this team is just so frustrating. Like, they go back to, like, I don't know. Their rotation has been just like weird. They played everyone 30 minutes 2 games ago. They went back to the normal rotation last game outside of Fred VanVleet. Like, am I really going to want to play Siakam over guys like Embiid, Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic? I'm not entirely sure, but it'll be the same breakdown as always. Like, good luck trying to figure out which one's gonna have a big game. I think all of the 5 starting Raptors guys are firmly in play for GPPs. 2 of them will probably have a pretty big game, but trying to figure out which 2 is the tough part in my opinion. So all in play for me. No standouts. Much rather go to other spend ups, in my opinion. And yeah, so fast paced game, not necessarily the best matchup, but a pace up spot here for Cleveland. I think Garland's still too cheap at 7.6K. I keep saying this. Until his price goes up, I'm going to keep saying he's too cheap. So I like Garland quite a bit for GPPs. I think Mitchell's fine. I think Mobley's fine. I think Jared Allen's too cheap. Don't care about the matchup against Gobert. He played close to 40 minutes last game, so like Allen here. And the bench I'm not going to go to. They're running such a tight rotation, it's really hard to get to pretty much anyone else on this team outside of the starting 5. Good to see Ricky Rubio back, by the way, though. Went for 15 fantasy points in 10 minutes. Just absolute stud. All right, tough spot here. We have Cat still out. Not really interested in anyone on the Minnesota side for me. Like, I think it's overpriced. I think Rudy Gobert is priced appropriately for this matchup. I think D'Lo is priced appropriately for this matchup. So, yeah, not much on the Minnesota side. Let's move over to Philadelphia. So, phenomenal spot for Joel Embiid. Utah has just been absolutely terrible against bigs. The Sixers have been involved in a lot of blowouts of late, but if this game stays close, this is just an absolute smash spot for Embiid. So I love Embiid. Harden has been absolutely phenomenal of late too. He's playing deep into blowouts too, so he's basically kind of blowout proof except for this game. I like Harden's upside. Everyone else is kind of out of play. Like, if Harris doesn't play, that doesn't really change anything for me because they're probably going to play guys like Matisse Thybulle more, who's unplayable in defense in DFS. He's really only out there for defense and nothing else. So just the top 2 guys on Philly for me. And there's not much here for Utah, so I kind of want to see what the Jazz finish with minutes-wise. I know NAW started tonight, but I don't think he played that much. He did not. So they played Clarkson 35 minutes. They played, what is this? Okay, we're playing Baji 26 minutes a game. Sexton played 24 with no Mike Conley. Walker Kessler played 27, but he probably got into foul trouble. Malik Beasley played 28. Okay, sounds good to me. So it's just the top 2 guys. I feel like for me, like the guards are okay. Like if Malik Beasley's still gonna get 25ish minutes at 4.6K, I'm definitely okay with it. Only if Mike Conley's out. If Mike Conley's in, I'm just probably gonna stay away from the guards. If you think Walker Kessler can stay out of foul trouble up against Embiid, I think this price tag is too cheap. So I do like Kessler. And yeah, I think that's it for me. Not much on the Utah side that stands out to me. And last game of the night here, guys, Dallas at Portland. So if you have the money for Luka, I don't have to go over why he could play. He's playing pretty much 48 minutes a game right now. So like Luka, Christian Wood's questionable. It doesn't really change much for me. It's good. Dwight Powell would be in play at 3.1K. But they can always go. Actually, they have no Dorian Finney-Smith and no Maxi Kleber, so Dwight Powell might have to play a lot. We'll see. He would be in play though. And then Spencer Dinwiddie's just fine. He'll play huge minutes. Wish the price was a little bit cheaper. Same with Tim Hardaway Jr. I will mention Reggie Bullock at 3.3K. He'll play huge minutes, but never a fun roster. And I think that's it for Dallas. Let's move over to Portland. So I expect Dame to play. He's been questionable the last few slates, so you guys know what to do. If Dame's out, you play Simons. Nurkic would look good, and then whoever starts for value would look good, whether it's like Shaden Sharp, etc. But assuming Dame plays, I'm very interested in Dame at 9.3K. Like, very, very interested in Dame. It's not necessarily the best matchup. Dallas does play slow too, so it's not like a good spot for him, but that price tag is very, very appealing. Nurk, I still like at 7K. Always in foul trouble though, but too cheap if he's going to continue to get 35-ish minutes. Grant Simon's just indifferent on. Josh Hart, same thing, kind of just indifferent there. And I think that'll wrap it up for this video, guys. I hope you guys had a good night tonight, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow.